when I was 18, I became a mother of twins. And I had no idea about motherhood. And my husband and I, when we took our daughter, we have girl and boy twins, to the doctor at 4 months, they said that she had 2 holes in her heart. And I found this out over a telephone call because we didn't have a pediatric cardiologist in Spartanburg at the time. And at 4 months, she began to take medications and seek treatment to have that heal through medications, and it didn't work. And so at 8 months, we had to go to MUSC and have surgery. For those 4 months, I agonized. For the first time in my life, I really, really felt helpless. It's one thing to have your own trials and try to overcome them, but when it's your child, it's such a different feeling. I felt so helpless, and I just didn't know. I knew to talk to God. I knew God was there, but my relationship with God was not where it should have been. And I remember before we went to MUSC, Deacon Brewer and Deaconess Brewer calling and saying, just stop by the church before you go. And we came by the church, my husband and I, we brought our daughter, and they gave us some money to help us out, but they asked us to come in the sanctuary, and the entire church prayed for her. There were people who had never met my daughter in their life. I'm sure there are people who didn't know anything about us who were praying for my child and praying for her healing. We went to Charleston, and I had been agonizing over that event and that day for months. But for the first time, I got to know the peace of God through prayer, through me praying myself and through their praying prayers. I fell asleep while she had surgery, and when I woke up, they said it was done and she was well and I could see her in a little bit. And I know that was only because of prayers. And that was the first time I ever felt the peace of God. And at that time I said, I want that in my life, period. I want to know what they know and what they feel. For me, I had been going to church a long time, but in that moment it was real to me. At that moment, heaven touched earth for me in a personal way that God knew how to talk to me. And so I want to do that because maybe there's an 18-year-old girl with a child, or maybe there's somebody else in a situation who doesn't yet know, like I didn't know, that our God is real, that heaven can touch earth, and that prayer is that channel for us to communicate with God and for Him to communicate with us. And as I was studying the scriptures and came across Shamar, and it means to keep, to watch, and preserve, I have learned over these years that God has already created our Eden in our spirit realm, that He's already put everything into place that we'll ever need, and it's just our job to keep it, to watch it, to preserve. And we must be in constant prayer with Him and constant communication with Him in order to get the orders on what to do. And we're going through a Nehemiah project, and it just constantly is resonating as I'm studying and praying with God. I need you all spiritually on the wall. That's all He's been telling me, is I need you all spiritually on the wall. And I look at Nehemiah and I look at the people who were with him, and in one hand they had a tool, but in the other hand they had a weapon. So they were building the kingdom of God while tearing down the kingdom of Satan. And prayer gives us those building blocks for that. Prayer gives us our marching orders. And we must teach our children. I have been at times in my life, and that same little girl that I prayed for, there's a time when I lost 2 good friends to cancer. And one of them, I watched her and I loved her and I believed God and I trusted God. And I still believed God afterwards, but my heart was grieving and I couldn't even put that into words. My children prayed for me. I still remember those prayers. My children covered me and prayed for me. And that solidified everything for me, because that meant that the legacy of prayer, even when I'm wrong, even when I'm doing wrong, even when I'm fussing at them, even when Mama makes mistakes, they know how to pray. And they know how to pray for Mama. And so there was nothing else I could ever buy them, give them, or do for them that's better than a communication with God. And so there's so many things that we chase after in this earth. So many things we ask man for. But God said, ask, seek, and knock. And prayer is the way to ask, seek, and knock. And even when we don't know what to say in our prayers, the Spirit intercedes for us with moans and groans. His word says that we may not even understand. And I'm thankful for that. Because sometimes I might say the wrong thing or say too much, and I may just need to moan. So I don't think that it is a model. It's not a religious thing, and it's not an idea. It is breath for our spirits. It is our very substance. How can we have a Father that we don't talk to? How can we experience His love? How can we love on Him without ever talking to Him? And when He whispers back, it is priceless. It is better than any advice any other human being could ever give you. So I say that prayer is breath. So breathe out to God and He'll breathe into you. Still pray and still talk to God and be honest with Him. Because I was honest. God, I'm upset. God, I expected you to do this. Why didn't it happen this way? Why didn't I think? We were believing. And He gave me answers for those things. He didn't always give them instantly. But I come to understand that He may not heal them on this side. Their healing may be on the other side. I come to understand that their spirit and their mind may be tired. And I come to understand that every vessel that walks this earth belongs to Him and not me. But He has always given me peace and time and understanding the situations. I came to peace with my friend passing on. I know she's at peace. I know that she received her rest. And I'm fine with that. And I know that each one of us has a purpose and a gift for our life. And I truly, sincerely believe that she fulfilled her purpose in this world. And so I take comfort in that. But I say no matter what it may look like logically or in your feelings, continue to talk to God. Even in those feelings, even in your frustrations and your anger, just talk to Him. He's the God of the universe. He's had millions of people talk to Him for thousands of years. I'm sure they didn't all say it in a perfect way, but He knew how to respond. I am confident in that. You know how to talk, then you know how to talk to God. If you know how to open your mouth and express what you think and what you feel, you know how to talk to God. He knows how to respond. And if you follow up that talking with His word, then your prayer life changes. But don't let anybody give you a set order. Just start talking to Him. And then He'll give you what He wants to hear from you. He'll change the desires of your heart. He'll change the words of your mouth. The prayers that I prayed when I was at that age, at 18, 19, 20, are not the prayers that I pray now. As I start studying His word and following up with things, I pray His word back to Him now. I pray intercessions for other people now. I pray specifically. I pray generally then. So if you just start talking to God and listen for Him to talk back to you, then your prayers will change and align with what God has for you. So just trust Him to do that. Don't let anybody else do it. But make it a relationship with God. That's what should come out of prayer. A relationship with God. You talk to Him, He'll talk back to you. Oh gosh, thank God for God. Because that girl, she wouldn't have made it without Him. God, she wouldn't have made it without Him. There was so many things she was combating. If I'm honest, she came out of living in apartments or project complex, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's not where you live, it's how you live. But she came out with a project mentality. She came out with a different view of herself. She came out with limits on her mind on what she could do and who she could be. And out of her prayers for God and following it up with word from God, her whole world changed. The way she viewed the world changed. The way she talked to God changed. The way she approached things changed. Once I realized that the God of the universe was my Father, that I could talk to Him at any time and He could talk back to me, What else is there to limit on? What else could be an obstacle? And if it is an obstacle, I can talk to him about it. It changed my whole world view on everything. That 18-year-old girl was anxious. She was defeated in some ways. She was unsure, and she wasn't living. She was surviving. She was surviving. And I have come to live the scripture that he came to give us life more abundantly. I know what that means now. And I only know what that means by praying to God, talking to God, and following up with his word. The woman who's here now is so different. She's so different from the 18-year-old. And she's so amazingly blessed and thankful and grateful to that God. Because Jesus is the best thing that ever happened to me. And it's for real. I remember sitting in church one day, and after I had came back at 18, looking around and not really feeling a part of it. And I remember one prayer I prayed, and be careful what you say to God, is, show me you're real. Because if this is it, if I'm going to come in here with them and sing these songs, and I don't understand everything that's going on, then I don't know how long I can do this. So I need you to show me that you're real. And he did. In so many ways, on so many levels, he showed me that he was real. That he answers, that he speaks, and that he has a word for my life. Not just mine, but everybody I knew. And so, talk to him. He's got a message specifically designed just for you. I'm sure of that.